Imagine this. You're coming off a World Series victory, and you're so excited to step up to the plate for the brand new year. But as you step up, you're rained by a cascade of boos flowing from the crowds. Now, what can make an entire stadium unite in the hatred for you and your teammates? The answer to that is cheating. You see, in the 2017 World Series, the Houston Astros used a camera system to see exactly what pitches the Los Angeles Dodgers were going to be pitching in their home stadium. This gave them a distinct home field advantage because the Astros knew exactly what pitch was being thrown and when it was going to be thrown. Overall, the Houston Astros won the series 4-3 to take home the crown, with all four wins coming at home. As you can imagine, Los Angeles Dodgers fans felt like they had had their World Series ripped from their hands. Imagine if that was your home team and how distraught you would be if your Atlanta Braves got their World Series title stolen. Just think back to a couple years ago when our own Georgia Bulldogs were racing against the clock to stop the Alabama Crimson Tide in the fourth quarter of the national championship. On a punt play by Alabama, Tyler Simmons was called offsides, and Dog Nation erupted. It was later admitted that Tyler Simmons was not offsides, but this was just a simple mistake. Imagine if this was a deliberate cheating attempt by Alabama or the refs. Imagine how much more angry and distraught Georgia fans would feel than just a simple mistake that already caused a ruckus in the fan base. That's how teams feel like when they're impacted by cheating. You see, in all of these sports across the world, cheating has impacted all of them. And I'm sure one sport that you love has been impacted by it as well. So it's important to understand these implications that cheating has on sports so we can stop it from growing in the future. Those implications include the effects on the sport and those associated with it, the impact on the people watching, and finally, the fact that change won't come until those cheating realize the problem. And those factors that cause these are also important to know so we can limit its use in the end. And those two main factors include personality disorders and situational incentives. Just to list a couple of implications, the first of which is the effect on the image of sports and those associated with it. According to Sarah Kelly, Quentin Weeks, and Monica Chen from the University of Queensland Business School, and there goes my hero again, 35% of sports fans view their sport more negatively after a cheating event, and 20% of fans view those associated with the sport, such as a sponsor, more negatively as well. This means as more and more cheating events happen, that our sports are going to be viewed more and more negatively to the point where performance may decrease, or they may cease to exist to begin with. From Samleja Zakasti from the interrelation of macro and micro factors that contribute to cheating in sports, she states that the impact on people watching is also major. Because as children and adults see their sports heroes cheating on TV and performing well, they want to be just like them too because they admire their heroes. This means that this cheating is going to infiltrate down into the core of our communities. In Little League sports, in school, or even the workplace, we could see more and more cheating because of what they see their fans or their superstars and their heroes doing. And finally, in reality, change won't come until the realization of the problem. The Houston Astros went 2 years without the cheating scandal being found. And I'm sure they would have waited longer, but nobody said a word. But it took someone catching them for them to totally stop and for them to realize what they did and for the cheating to be stopped, which happens in most other cheating cases as well. So as you can see, the implications of cheating in sports are huge. But in order to know how to stop these instances of cheating, we have to know what causes them in the first place. And the first of which are personality disorders. All personality disorders are deviations from normal behavior. So it's not a diagnosed disease, it's just a deviation from how people normally act. People with personality disorders tend to do what they want, when they want, without regards to the rules or how their actions might impact other people. According to Ira Glick and Dan Beagle from Can You Treat Cheating in Sports, personality disorders often can be grown in adolescence through parenting, but it can also be started through the competitive nature of sports themselves. And they use the fact that they need to win and they need to be the best as an outing for their personality disorder because they see themselves as idols and above the rules. Because if they are so good, then all the rules will not apply to them. And that's an excuse many of players have used to justify their cheating. And finally, like I said before, this doesn't go away without the intervention. Because to cure personality disorders, it takes months and maybe even years of counseling and working with these players to work the personality disorders out of their systems. This can be costly and tough to treat, but luckily there's another force that is a little bit more treatable, and that is situational incentives. These are things that are going to be pushing the cheater to move towards choosing cheating to better themselves. This might include winning or the potential money or maybe even a chance of a championship that might force someone over the edge to turn to cheating. And the predictors of doping intentions in elite level athletes in the Journal of Sports and Exercise Psychology from the Southeast European Research Center. One of the major situational incentives is the large concentration of cheating in sports. Because cheaters see everybody else cheating, they feel like they need to cheat just to keep up. Because if everybody else is cheating, then if they don't, then their performance might not rise to that level. And the other side of that problem is there's plenty of bystanders that do absolutely nothing to stop it. And so when you have this large concentration and nobody's stopping it, then it causes people to cheat just to keep up. And finally, the biggest situational incentive is the fact that what is to gain is often greater than what is to lose. You see, what is to gain is possibly a championship like the Astros got, the fame that comes with that, and even money from a bigger contract. But what is to lose is often very little in terms of punishment. In the doping scandals with the MLB, people would only get maybe around 60-day suspensions for a first offense. And in the Astros case, none of the players got punishment. So they got the World Series ring, the fame, and the money that comes with winning a championship, but they had no punishment to do so. And so people see that, and they see the opportunity to cheat and get all these things that the Astros got without fear of punishment to stop them from doing it. And if we can stop this, then that's a major avenue of potential to stop cheating from happening. But overall, you can see how impactful cheating in sports can be. And as it rises in recent instances, it becomes more of a pressing issue today, especially with cases like the Astros. So in order to stop cases of cheating in sports that we know and love, and for it to stop from affecting and maybe even impacting one of our home teams like our Dogs or our Atlanta Braves, it's important for us to stop cheating and be informed from it. So overall, if you can remember, the implications are the effects of the impacts on the sports and those associated, the impact on people watching, the change that can't come until the realization of the problem, and the factors that control that are personality disorders and situational incentives. Thank you.